One thing that you always keep in mind, the answer writing is the most important thing. आप कितना जानते हैं, आपने कितनी पढ़ाई की है, आपने कौन कौन सी किताबें पढ़ी है, ये सारी चीज़ें बेमानी है if you are not able to somehow convey your answers very properly in the examination hall. There's such a bulk of content in history optional that if you do not follow the right approach in the subject, trust me, ever you won't be able to get very good marks. On every weekend, we'll be having one mentorship session, and in this mentorship session, we can discuss every problem that you have been facing. All those who would be joining the courses, they'll be having access to this particular document. This is the map part. What is over here? As you'll go to the drop down, you'll find all the important chapters are there. And in fact, the moment you have been choosing any site, let's say you have selected the Paleolithic sites. So now these Paleolithic sites are there. Fine. So it is good for practice. It is good for memorizing the content. Hello everyone. I interact with hundreds of students, those who are having history optional. और एक चीज है जो मुझे बार बार और हमेशा सरप्राइज करती है, that there are many students, they have done the foundation courses. Couple of them haven't done the foundation courses. They believe that history optional content can be covered by their own. So that's why they have been covering it either through some notes or let's say certain authentic books or some the books which are mostly being recommended by the toppers or teachers. So they are reading them. But the moment it comes to answer writing, even after doing all these things, they are not able to write a perfect answer, which could literally get them very good marks. One thing that you always keep in mind, the answer writing is the most important thing. आप कितना जानते हैं, आपने कितनी पढ़ाई की है, आपने कौन कौन सी किताबें पढ़ी है, ये सारी चीजें बेमानी है if you are not able to somehow convey your answers very properly in the examination hall. But then why does it happen? You really believe that it happens only because of this reason that students haven't studied properly? I don't think so. Students have done the proper amount of hard work, ठीक है, और हिस्ट्री में मुझे लगता है कि लोगों को ये लगता है कि ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्क चाहिए, तो दे आर डूइंग प्रॉपर अमाउंट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क. They are reading several content. They are trying to collect the content from the various sources. Problem is that their approach is not correct. And trust me, if there's such a bulk of content in history optional that if you do not follow the right approach in the subject, trust me, ever you won't be able to get very good marks. Now, most of the students, I believe, they are facing certain problems. Like problems kis tarike ke? Let's say they have done the foundation courses. But then what happens? The foundation courses are what? They are just the sort of coverage of the syllabus, right? And in fact, there too, I find that the whole syllabus is not covered in such an extensive way that ultimately the students are having a very good conceptual understanding over the subject. There's another problem, I believe, and I have seen them with the students, that sometimes they believe that by covering the PYQs, they'll be able to cover the whole syllabus. There are two things. Neither the PYQs are every year being repeated in the same fashion. The themes are repeating. The themes are repeating, but the dimensions are very much new. And that's how you have to understand any particular topic with the multiple dimensions. But आपने क्या किया? आपने PYQs cover कर लिया, and you believe that ultimately the PYQs are going to be repeated. So that's how you are they are going to do it. Conceptual gaps is another problem that I realize with the students. If you have followed the same approach, that you have just understood that history is nothing but the compilation of content, in that case 100%. And in fact, if you have studied the subject with respect to PYQs, the conceptual gaps has to be there, because if you cover the syllabus through the PYQs, ultimately you cover the syllabus in bits and pieces, and that's how at any point of time you won't be able to develop a proper conceptual understanding of the subject. There's one more problem I have realized, that is historiography. I don't know why the historiography has become a sort of fashion. लोगों को लगता है कि आप जितने historians के नाम mention करेंगे, आपको उतने बेहतर आंसर मिलेंगे. I know many such students, personally, those who have done masters or they're doing MPhil, so they are having good control over the historiography, and that's how when it comes to answer writing, they have been writing the name of several scholars. But when it comes to marks, ऐसा नहीं थी कि उनको खराब number आ रहे हैं. Of course, they are getting marks, but then the marks are always they are not being pushed to that level, 290, 300. Of course, they are stuck somewhere around 250, 260. They are always getting stuck at that particular point. Why? Because you believe that just by mentioning names of several historians, you are going to get very good marks. That is completely incorrect. Historiography is important. Undoubtedly, it's a sort of supplementary stuff that can really help you to somehow take lead over others. But it does not mean that you are writing in name of any historian only for the sake of mentioning name. Rather, I believe that you should write always the name of the most relevant scholars, और वो एक दो तीन उससे ज़्यादा लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। मुझे लगता है कि अगर आपने किसी एक क्वेश्चन में जो हिस्टोरियोग्राफी बेस्ड नहीं है, जो डिबेट बेस्ड नहीं है, उसमें अगर आपने एक भी स्कॉलर का नाम लिखा, दैट इज मोर देन एनफ। अगर आप किसी क्वेश्चन में आप एक भी स्कॉलर का नाम नहीं लिख रहे, दैट इज ऑल्सो ओके, बट देन वेन एवर यू हैव बीन राइटिंग, राइट द नेम ऑफ मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट और मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट स्कॉलर. And the last thing I'll say, that what is the reason because of what students are not feeling very confident in writing answers? The last thing is that they haven't done proper amount of answer writing practice. But then one thing that you should always keep in mind, answer writing is not something that you are going to learn through the model hit. No, ये क्या है? Answer writing is basically a process of thinking. एंड प्रोसेस ऑफ थिंकिंग आप खुद से भी डेवलप कर सकते हैं, और प्रोसेस ऑफ थिंकिंग आप किसी के साथ सोच कर भी डेवलप कर सकते हैं. लेकिन सपोज देयर इज अ मेंटोर, देयर इज अ टीचर, लेकिन एंड इन फैक्ट ही इज गाइडिंग यू, लेकिन देन एंड देयर ओनली समहाउ यू लर्न. मतलब इफ यू आर इन अ प्रोसेस of learning or discussing this answer, in that case somehow you'll be able to develop it in a better way. So that's how I believe that these are various problems which are being faced by the students, and by keeping all these questions in my mind, I have designed a course for all those students who are facing difficulties in the subject, that's called as the QEP Plus. Of course, it is for students, those who are going to give the attempt of 2027, and it is going to start from 27 July of 2026. It is an extensive program, and it's not very costly also. It is an extensive program which is definitely going to help the students, those who are having history optional and they have been facing the difficulties when it comes to answer writing. So coming to the first point, who can join it? Like all those who are believing that they have done foundation courses, right? All those who believe that they have covered the content, but then somehow they are not having that skill right now to write the answers, or there's something they are lacking something, it is fit for everybody. Now, when it comes to this particular course, how we are going to do it and what exactly we are going to do it, that also I would like to discuss in a very brief way. So, of course, this is me, and then my introduction is known to you. I won't get into this particular dimension. These are all those students those who had been mentored by me, and finally they managed to clear this exam with a very good rank and with very good marks in the history optional. Okay, coming to the most important thing, that how we are going to do it. So basically we are going to have 45 plus live classes, and that too along with the live answer writing sessions. As I told you that it should be done through a process. So that's how some live answer writing sessions should be there. So how we are going to do it? So basically, since we're going to cover in a very structured weekly discipline, right, or structured schedule. So okay, this is the schedule which is there. So we are going to start from 27, and in fact after having a discussion over some of the necessary things, such as how to make the notes, how to cover the content, or what is the most relevant content, and all these things. And every day what we are going to do, we are just going to cover certain topic. So in every week we'll be having 2 classes, and in those 2 classes we'll be precisely talking about the content, right? And of course in this content we'll just keep the most relevant content, and of course third day we'll be going to have the live answer writing sessions, right? So the topics that I have covered in the previous classes, I'll be giving you certain questions. That number of questions may vary from 5 to 10. So if it is important topic, more number of questions should be there. If there are more dimensions, in that case more number of questions should be there. Couple of them would be from the PYQs, but then many of them would be based on many new dimensions also. And then we'll be somehow we'll be writing the answers, because we are getting the time to think, and then we'll be writing the answers together in the live answer writing sessions. So this is how we are going to follow the schedule, and after 4 months this program would be over, and after finishing every part we'll be having one test. Let's say after ancient we'll be having one test, after medieval we'll be having one test, after the finishing of the course we'll be having 4 mock tests as well, right? So that is how we'll cover the content. Okay, there must be one question, that map is also one important area. So for map I'll be also helping you or guiding you, because this is my website, and all those who would be joining the courses, they'll be having access to this particular document. So as you can see, there's a section here, and this is the map part. What is over here? As you'll go to the drop down, you'll find all the important chapters are there. And in fact the moment you have been choosing any site, let's say you have selected the Paleolithic sites, so now these Paleolithic sites are there. Fine. So it is good for practice, it is good for memorizing the content, because the moment all these Paleolithic sites are there. जैसे ही आप कर्सर किसी पॉइंट पे लेके जाएंगे, सो देयर विल बी ए पॉपअप, राइट, एंड इन दैट पॉपअप लाइक ऑल द इन्फॉर्मेशन शुड बी देयर। सो ये आपके प्रैक्टिस के लिए भी बहुत अच्छी है, ठीक है। एंड ऑफ कोर्स लाइक देयर विल बी सर्टेन क्लासेस आल्सो सेपरेटली फॉर द मैप एरिया आल्सो। सो दिस इज हाउ दिस इज गुड फॉर द प्रैक्टिस, दिस इज गुड, even good for like even good for basically covering the map portion. So you'll be getting access to this also. What are the other things that we'll be doing, like so apart from this, the study material or the value addition material would be also provided. I would like to just show you that what kind of value added materials would be provided to you. So as like this kind of materials lecture wise would be provided to you, such as like this is the notes of model, right? So lecture wise it would be like provided to you, and in fact like in this particular material the proper content would be given and along with all the necessary points, okay? So you should know that okay, if any question is coming, so this is a sort of ready-made introduction. Now these are the points that you need to write, and these are the historians that you need to mention. And in fact like while having the class I also discussed ki out of these scholars that I have given here, at least like keep in mind कि ये scholar जरूर लिखना है आपको, बाकी आप भूल भी जाए तो चलेगा. From my end I have given you like maybe slightly more historiography, but then in the classes itself I'll make it very clear that आपको कौन-कौन से historians लिखने हैं. So you'll be getting like these kind of material for every lecture that we'll be doing. And then it comes to test series. I have already discussed about the test series, and in fact you'll get the model in such a way which is quite helpful. And most importantly, you'll be also getting the mentorship along with this program. So on every weekend we'll be having a one mentorship session, and in this mentorship session we can discuss every problem that you have been facing like for that particular part, right? And that's how we'll be interacting very frequently about or for the subject. And then finally it comes to structure, weekly syllabus or the schedule that I have already discussed. So I have designed the course in such a way, and I believe that it is definitely going to cater all your requirements or all your difficulties what you have been facing. So I welcome you all to join like this particular course and enhance your chances to score very good in history ops. Thank you very much.